The storyline is changing. We have talked about this for some time, and many considered it just as a conspiracy. Soon you will realize the weak hands were designed to act like that they lost this game. And this was designed by those who are creating a new financial system. And as it changes, you will understand why these changes are happening and why these happened in the past. Because it was always about institutional use cases. And institutions are showing you something which creates confusion for a regular individual. But when you look at what really is happening behind the screen, your bulb will be lit. You will understand why it's happening. When institutions come out and try to put these kind of stuff out, you will actually see, that negativity. Because when you see sudden negative news and you turn stressed, you also need to understand why, what, and how of this conflict. And once you know that, you won't doubt it. Because doubt is something which creates that kind of a negative scenario where the FUD will enter into you easily. And always remember, this market is about opportunities. If you are able to understand that, then you can easily align your portfolio in such a scenario that can deepen the profits in your portfolio. If you look at the top 10, 15 assets here, you can see, for example, Cardano, ADA doing around 20%, then XLM again doing around 20%. Now, in the SI patron group, they didn't actually miss any of these because they got the update at the right time. The call out was there, they achieved those on time, and it's similar for ADA as well. They went in, they actually got that one. So when you look at these, you will understand that the callouts are always there if you want to get those. Because just in 24 hours, it's like 20% in ADA, 20% in XLM, and 10-15 in other assets, but those assets hasn't actually completed their total target. So I can't actually share that here right now because it won't be fair looking at the patron group. So if you want to take benefit of such an opportunity and deepen your profits in your portfolio, you can actually look at the Patreon group link given in the description below. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. As we saw different kind of news, do understand this was really important. As Kathleen Long highlights, yep, it's actually highlighting, say this news when it hit the market, banks now has more clarity. One thing I can say at this point is this: bank charters matter in US. It's not enough to be a trust company or a trust bank. It could play out that incumbent banks have big advantage over crypto because don't know yet. It has to be digested well enough because now the OCC is giving that regulation. Now, most of us waited for things to change, right? We all waited for things to evolve. And as it is progressing, you can see this one, right? Jan 4th, 2021, and OCC puts this one out. Federally chartered banks and thrifts may participate in independent node verification networks and use stable coins for payment activities. So payment messaging, payment settlement, all these back-end processing of the payments, they can now use this technology. Go through this, you will understand one thing. They now don't have to be limited with Swift ACH and all. They can use blockchain technology. So when you read through this, the President's Working Group on Financial Markets recently articulated a strong framework for ushering in an era of stable coin based financial infrastructure, identifying important risks while allowing those risks to be managed in a technology agnostic way. So they are not talking about kicking the technology away. They are thinking about using this thing. Now, when they are talking about using this technology, what are they looking at? It's about authority of banks to connect to blockchain as validator nodes. Okay, in which blockchain networks have you heard this term validators, and who were actually running validator nodes in RippleNet? Maybe some light bulbs are being working right now. It will let soon. Now, thereby transact stablecoin payments on behalf of customers who are increasingly demanding what? Speed, efficiency, interoperability, and low cost associated with these products. Now, don't be confused with the term interoperability they demanded by the customers, because here the customers are not only the consumers, the retail guys, it's also businesses. Small businesses are customers of large business operators, right? So they need interoperability. Now, if you consider, say, for example, if you have money in PayPal and you want to move that to Venmo, what will you do right now? That's the difficulty without interoperability. But right now, if you get this stuff, it would be easy to move your money from PayPal to Venmo, even though those are actually sister companies. It doesn't work that way. Why? The interoperability layer doesn't work. And that's where this key stuff is going towards. Because at the bottom, when you read here, engaging in INVN within the federal banking system may enhance the efficiency, effectiveness, and stability of payment activities and achieve benefits of real-time payments already enjoyed in other countries. They're just saying US is lagging. Others already provide this service to their customers. So the demand of the market will be met in one way or the other. So if you want to read through that, you can actually read. I'll actually put these links in the description below so you don't actually miss from these. But always keep this in your mind. Whenever they are using these kind of stuff, they also put this stuff there. The compliance is there. Among the compliance risks, banks should guard against potential money laundering activities and terrorist financing by expanding their compliance programs to ensure compliance with the reporting and record keeping requirements of the Bank Secrecy Act, and to address the particular risks of cryptocurrency transactions. That is really important. Address the particular risks of cryptocurrency transactions. Now you understand why the privacy coins were going down, why exchanges were going against them. At the same time, look at XRP. It is designed to solve this use case which they are explaining here, the entire thing, providing that stability, efficiency, and effectiveness in payments. But the exchanges don't understand that right now. As of now, when these regulations are changing in US, worldwide, the current walls standing against this technological disruption is melting. And IMF puts it like this: the currencies central banks hold as foreign exchange reserves have remained largely steady over decades. But now it's shifting. Geopolitical shift, technological revolution. So one is USD and yuan they are talking about, the geopolitical scenario. Then the technological revolution, you have blockchain technology. And then along with the health crises, it's kind of, damaging the economy. The geopolitical stuff with the health crisis is even deepening the current economic crisis. Now, when you go into this article, you can read this. Financial link seem to be a key driver of the reserve currency holding. So what are you looking at? Financial links. So if you have if you are being connected with different countries over a network, then you don't have to go through that risk of holding USD and the fluctuation there, depreciation there. Instead, you can move into a appreciating asset instead of a depreciating asset like dollar, right? So when you go through this article, you actually get to see this. Now I'm not sure whether you guys can actually read this, but I'll try. Okay, when you go through this figure, it shows cross-border claims, then global foreign exchange turnover. So it's all about cross-currency transfers, cross-currency money movement, and they're showing you US dollar, euro, yen, pound, and other currencies. Now at the top, what were they actually talking about? Financial links. Now this is one of the main benefits of working with 40 to 50 central banks, because you don't actually need 40 to 50. Instead, if you have top 10 with your network, others will automatically follow the suite. But US is a huge economy, and the status quo is kind of delaying US with all the tactics which they can use on this. Central banks have long held international reserves in the same currencies. This is unsurprising, as the reserves are intended to back up international transactions as described above. So, you currently understand this stuff. Now, when you need this balance, say allowing country authorities to finance balance of payment needs, intervene in foreign exchange markets, and provide foreign exchange to domestic agents, to do all of this stuff, if you have a proper reserve currency holding, it's going to be easy. And that reserve currency has to be a neutral one. Why? Because it's not only that, it's also about the geopolitical scenario. So USD and yuan are both different topics. Not everyone will agree on one asset there. So a neutral asset will provide them with the ability to transact instantly, go through that interoperability, stability, all those things which you need inside a payment. You get all of them. So the first mover advantage is always there. But at that time, you get this from Yogitra Khatri from the block. Grayscale removes XRP from its digital large cap fund. Now the title itself highlights only one stuff there. What you have to understand is it's a large cap fund in which there were other assets as well, and XRP was approximately 1.46%. That's comparatively really small in that fund. But Grayscale still holds around 12 million XRP, for which some of them huge buys were at recent bottom. So they are still holding that product. Now at the bottom here, the author tries to kind of put that perspective here where you get a little bit of negativity. It's not clear whether Grayscale's other XRP product, Grayscale XRP Trust, would face similar action. Now, if they were to do this similar action, would you think they would be buying ton in recent days after they see news and all these SHITs happening around you? So I don't actually agree with that perspective of the author, but that's how you digest the news. You go through it and try to see what really is happening. Because when you see this stuff happening in Grayscale, then this tweet from Wrath of Kahneman comes with you. It kind of gives you the information, right? So Grayscale bought more XRP. Grayscale removed XRP products and XRP from that fund actually, and hired Ripple's chief of compliance. So now you go back to IMF document here, then the OCC document. They already highlighted what you need. You have to be aware of cryptocurrency transaction and about what among the compliance risks. Now look at Grayscale, why they are hiring Ripple's chief of compliance. Guys, this is not a big deal to understand. You just have to go through all the information available to you, and once you have this, just check the available information is giving you that direction, or your cognitive ability is making you think in that way. Because you have negative news coming out, Then Ripple comes out and highlights this is only happening because they had that contract initially, that investment agreement, in which they stated if XRP is to be deemed as a security, then this comes in. But right now, even Ripple is disappointed at Tetragon because they're trying to take advantage of this SEC, SHIT, and gain more capital, fund, money, whatever you call, but that's not going to happen. And this tweet from Kevin Cage is really, really valuable because when Ripple, the company, tried to change the entire financial system from last 7-8 years, many call them they are mad, bankers, coin, bangers, blah, 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 blah. But the right thing is this: the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. So if you trust in the technology and vision and mission of Ripple, the company, you should be excited. Because the recent changes hitting the price is a different story, and the real value of the asset being improved is a different story. As David highlights here, in the worst case, it's being highlighted as a security. But those who are using it in Kraken, Coinbase and all, where they have a banking charter, it won't be a huge issue. Those who are storing this in your ledger, it's not a huge issue because you can anyway go open up an account with Coinbase, Kraken, or those who provide this clarity, or outside US. When the value reflects in the price, you would still be there to reap that benefit. Because if you are believing this as a scam, you really have to think. Say, Brothers XOS highlights this. Kind of this perspective here is like, if this was a scam, it's so huge. They were with the IMF, they were with the almost all the regulators, IMF guys, what you can say, central bankers around the globe. Everywhere they were present, and they gave their idea to each and every one of them. And they were invited for majority of the financial events. You have to understand that. As any other crypto executives, recently we started seeing quant executives because they have that use case. I do agree that. But that doesn't make the use case and the potential of XRP invalid. Right? So all of this, when you see, is huge opportunity. Those who have accumulated this asset, they don't have to, consider buying more. If you want to, you can actually do that. If you are so confident in yourself and you see this as an accumulation zone, price back in that range, it's cool. Otherwise, you have a lot of different opportunities for which, if you have a guide, if you get guidance, it would be easy for you. Or if you look at charts and you can see these patterns evolving, you can take benefit from these, right? So now, let's look at XRP in terms of technical analysis. Let's actually start from a shorter time span event. So we were actually having an Adam and Eve pattern, and it's kind of still valid if you draw a little bit here and there, but then we got a bad news first. That investors in XRP are moving out for a lawsuit. Price dipped immediately when all the other assets were moving to the upside. Almost in the 24 hours, you can see majority of them doing perfectly fine, just XRP being in negative. Right? Now you move on to a weekly chart and look at this. Here you see that long wick is there. Here also you got that long wick, but after that you didn't get a retest to the upside towards the resistance. Here, the 20-day moving average, it's actually the 50-day moving average. If you are looking at it, you can see that the price went back, and that small fluctuation, if you are calling it, moved the moving average towards that area. We retested that, but we came below. What does that show you in a downtrend? Right now, if you consider from last 2 weeks, we're actually going to the downside. So that's a downtrend in a shorter time span. And you see buyers coming in and moving the price up, pushing the price up. That means, at least for my understanding, buyers are interested in buying this asset at these price ranges. So even if it dips, sellers try to push it down, buyers are always interested in buying this asset. Now that's on a weekly chart. If you move into a daily chart, you can see RSI is supportive, meaning it's showing you a rising trend line. Then the MACD is almost near that cross. Now you go back in history, you can look at all the different scenarios when MACD was showing something similar. What XRP did, it consolidated sometime and bursted. So as the consolidation, the burst depends on the length of the consolidation. When the length is more, you get more of a pump. Now that was 220% pump after these consolidations. So if you are taking that in terms of date and time, say this was the cross here, then after the cross, that means you got a positive cross in MACD, still the price went a little bit down, and then it consolidated around 60 days before it actually started gaining traction and moving upside. Now we go back here, you look at this particular scenario where the MACD crossed. You can see that just before the MACD crossed, it started pumping and it was moving all the way up. But the percentage, in terms of percentage, it was just 100%, and here it was double. So if your asset is not moving when the rest of them are moving, don't be stressed. Understand that you're going to get max ROI on your investment. Be an investor, think like one. Otherwise, if you're looking at short-term scenarios and trying to beat the market, the high-frequency trading bots are going to run all over your portfolio. If you don't want to lose, you can try getting a little bit of knowledge about TA and learn the language of technical analysis. If charts talks to you, that's going to be easy. Whenever you see something without these lines, if you can understand that, okay, you're going to go this much, that's going to be the best thing in your investment life. And that's what I try to give you guys in my Patreon group. Say you get in here, you don't have to be here all the time. Once you understand these patterns, breakouts, percentages, you don't have to, right? You can do all of this yourself. And that's the point when you become an investor. Guys, I believe you received value for your time. And if you did, please do hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done that already. If you'd like to support the research executed in this channel, you can support the channel via the Patreon group or PayPal and XRP wallet address given in the description below. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.